Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I'm here to talk about Ice Cube's second album, Death Certificate, being released of October 29th of today through Priority Records of the year 1991. Happy 34 years to this album. 34 years. And this album is still a classic. It's still real to this day, too. You got songs like The Funeral, The Wrong to Mess With, Robin Lynch, and My Summer Vacation. That's one of my favorites. Steady Mobbin, Look Who's Burning, Giving Up the Nappy Dugout, A Bird in the Hand, Man's Best Friend, Alive on Arrival, Death, The Bird, Colorblind, I Want to Kill Sam, Doing Dumb, SHIT, Horny Little, that's a crazy man, Horny Little Devil. Okay, anyways, Black Korea, Us, True to the Game, No Vaseline, and I do have a reissue as well, which features other unreleased songs like the Only One Me and Good Cop, Bad Cop, and Dominate the Week. So, anyways, it was released through Priority Records, I already mentioned, and the album was produced by Sir Jinx and DJ Pooh and Cube himself, and it was supported by two singles, Steady Mobbin and True to the Game. So, due to some of its racially and politically charged content, Cube acerbic statements on drug dealing, racial profiling, and the right to keep and bear arms, and the album was the source of both critical acclaim and much controversy upon its release. Death Certificate was a commercial success, debuting at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 chart, selling at 105,000 copies in its first week, and the album was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America of the year 1991 in the month of December. And more to it, the writing and recording of the album began in late 1990 and carried on throughout most of 1991. And while making the album, that Cube was also heavily involved in several other projects, including Yo-Yo's debut album, Make Way for the Motherlode, his younger cousin, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, I Wish My Brother George Was Here, and perhaps more importantly, his film debuted Boys in the Hood, in which he co-starred with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Lawrence Fishburne. And similar to America's Most Wanted, Cube was very active in the album's production throughout. Though the overall sound differed, unlike America's Most Wanted, which featured the Bomb Squad's hard edge beats, the Death Certificate featured a slightly more West Coast oriented sound in comparison with heavy use of 70s funk and soul samples. A number of the tracks also use samples taken from the acts such as Zap, Ohio, and Fishbone, California. And then more of this, it was also roughly organized as two thematic elements of a larger whole, and opens with Cube's explanation, the death side, which is a mirror image of where we are today, and the life side is a vision of where we need to go. And the first half, therefore, is replete with the tales of drug dealing and W-mongering and violence expected of a gangster rap album. In 1991, the sleeve booklet also included the following quote from Cube, which showed influence of the Nation of Islam on his work. And he says, the reason why I say "and" is because we are mentally dead. Even in 1991, we have limited knowledge of self, so it leads to an mentality. The best place for a young black male or female is the Nation of Islam. As soon as we, as a people, of our use of our knowledge of self to our advance, we will be able to become and be called blacks. Rest is history. So, what it has to do with the song, what you call it, the death side's a bird in the hand laments a young man slide into the life of drug dealing for economic survival. Do I have to sell a whole lot of crack for decent shelter and clothes on my back, or should I just wait for help from Bush or Jesse Jackson and Operation Push? And then Black Korea, y'all know what it was about. It was the rioting and arson alongside black entrepreneurship as a response to the preponderance of Korean-owned grocery stores and ghettos across the United States. And the track was seen as a response to the killing of Latasha Harlins, a 15-year-old African-American female young girl. And it's a 15-year-old African-American girl who was shot to death by a Korean-American store owner on March 16th of 1991 and an altercation over a bottle of orange juice. The rest is history. And they did make a movie about that too later on, based on that riots in real life, which was in the year of 2018. They did a movie about it. Oh, actually, my bad. There was an interview, 2018. There was an interview with the South Korean Donga Ilbo newspaper that Ice Cube acknowledged that the track was insulting to Asians and described it as a failed song. That's what I meant to say. Listing it alongside called Cave B from his 1993 album Lethal Injection as a track he wanted to go back and modify or soften the lyrics of. So that's what I'm going to talk about. But yeah, there was a movie that was talking about the LA riots. It wasn't 2018. It had to be 19 or something like that, or 20. But they did make a movie about that. That's based on that real life, including with the Rodney King and everything. Anyways, about this album, it's still a classic to this day. No doubt about it. I know it was very controversial at the time. And the album debuted at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 charts, selling at 105,000 copies of its first week. And it became Ice Cube's first US top 10 debut. And the album also debuted at number 1 on the US top R&B/hip-hop albums chart. And on December 20th of 1991, the album was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America for sales of over 1 million copies. And it was certified only 2 months after the album was released. As of March of 2020, the album had sold over 2 million copies in the US. And then in 2015, of September 4th, Death Certificate went back on the Billboard 200 chart and ranked at number 99 with 14,000 sales in that week. Also, Greatest Hits and America's Most Wanted came back on the Billboard 200 in that week, with Greatest Hits charting at number 118 with 11,920 sales, and America's Most Wanted at number 150 with 8,300 sales. Classic forever. This is the original too. This is the original press that I have. I bought it at a record swap meet, a record beat swap meet. It was in Fullerton, and I paid about like $30. It was originally like 40 to 50, but the guy decided to sell it to me for 30. So I took it for 30, and I'm really happy to have this record. Still a West Coast gem forever. So here's the reissue. Here's this one. Same album, just different picture. But it's got the original picture right here. It also comes with a picture. Super cool. Super dope record, man. Nobody could ever make a movie like this, ever, in a lifetime. No one could ever make a record like this like Cube did. And, you know, if you love West Coast rap that speaks on the real talk, you know, this is a must to own in your collection by Ice Cube. This is a legendary album by Cube. What's your favorite song off the album? Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and comment. Follow your boy. I will be gladly to return to the next video. Y'all have a blessed one and stay safe, y'all. And keep bumping this album on your turntables. If you don't have it, I definitely suggest y'all to find it and get a hold of it and bump it on your turntables. So, the movie that bases off the real life LA riots, and of course, you know, when Ice Cube was making this album, it's called Kings, which stars with Halle Berry in the film in 2017, which definitely talks about the LA riots and the Korean store owner at the time. But all right, peace, y'all.